Hi everybody, and welcome back to the final movement connectivity for Chrysalis Community's online movement exploration of the fundamental patterns of total body connectivity as put together by Bartenieff. As always, make sure that you are listening to your body and what it needs today. The movements that I'm doing are suggestions, and you can adapt and change them to meet your needs. And as always, breath is a great place to return to, and observation is also a great place to return to if moving is not moving in large movements is not where you're at today. You may have noticed we're in a different venue for today's final one. One of the things that Chrysalis Community is working on putting together is the use of mythology in nature and movement and creative art therapies and helping people heal and empower themselves. And so you can also feel free to take any of the movement explorations that we have out into nature with you and see what Mother Nature brings to you as far as inspiration and movement. So we're going to get started. We do not have a candle today. We'll be doing a different intro. We're just going to take a nice deep breath together. And slowly let it out. And then we're going to take some time to drop into the body. Again, I will go through and read the words that Peggy Hackney has for cross-lateral connectivity. So take some time, drop into the body, bring your attention there, and see what comes up for you as you hear these words. I am complex. I am interconnected within myself. Messages travel diagonally, connecting right, upper, front, with left, lower, back. The spiraling universe invites my participation. Around, back up, forward, around, and down. I refine and polish my skills, reaching and running, molding and creating, ready to leap into the world. So that's cross-lateral connectivity. Cross-lateral connectivity is the final developmental movement stage. That's when infants are starting to walk and run and move around and get into everything. And so, as she was mentioning, the cross-lateral is, if you imagine an X kind of going through your person. So left hand down through the center to right foot, and right hand down through the center to left foot. And so that is sort of your cross-lateral connectivity. Cross-laterality is where we reach integration. So all of the developmental patterns that you've learned before kind of come together to work together. You have kind of this greater access to space. It's easier to change levels and move around, easier to twist and maintain the balance between stability, mobility, flexibility, rigidity. The yield, push, reach, pulls kind of that we've been talking about throughout the series become easier at this stage. As we grow older and we kind of shift into our brains, it can be kind of hard to notice, and people often kind of lose the core connectivity in their movements, and they're sort of become very distally focused when they're moving. So we're going to do some cross-lateral movement exploration through walking. And so what I want you to do is find a nice space where you have some room, and just think about, just first start by just walking and noticing kind of what you notice about how your body moves through space in this cross-lateral movement. You might notice, like before when we were doing body half, doing movements that way feels very awkward, but cross-lateral movement might feel a little bit more natural for you. And then start to experiment with different ways of initiating movement. So really thinking about how your body begins to move forward in space. And you can initiate from your knees if you're walking. You can initiate from the pelvic region, have the hip bone joints play a greater role in starting the movement, leading with the head. You might see some people in a hurry sometimes. They walk very forward leaning. And just kind of play around with that and see what you notice, what you like, what you don't like, what feels comfortable to you. You can also do this activity with a partner. Because of, as we grow older and our focus kind of shifts into the brain and out of the body, it can be hard to kind of notice how your body is moving through space. That kind of concept of proprioception, how my body is relating to the space around me. And so you can have a partner come and watch how you're moving, always being kind and non-judgmental and curious in your observations. We're not here to judge people or tell people something is right or wrong. The point of cross-laterality in this stage is really to give you greater access to a wider variety of movement potential. And so that's kind of what that exploration is about. So if you have a partner or someone you feel comfortable with, you can also take some time, if you are out in nature, or if you have a pet, to watch to see how these movement patterns might show up in nature with your dog or the birds or other animals that might be around. So that is cross-lateral movement. We're now going to just take a few minutes to explore movement both cross-laterally and through any of the other movement patterns, if there's one that you found yourself really liking and gravitating toward. So just kind of spending a few minutes in movement. I'm just going to do that and see where the impulses take you. As always, there is no right or wrong way to experiment. This is about getting to know our bodies and the things that our body wants to kind of take us on an adventure towards. Take a minute, bring those movements to a close. As always, if you are enjoying your exploration or you still have some curiosity, you can always pause the video and keep your exploration going. Otherwise, thank you everybody for participating in our introductory movement series. We appreciate all of your time and energy, and feel free to come back to these videos at any time if you find yourself struggling with any of the themes that kind of come up in each of these developmental patterns. But until next time, we'll close by letting out that nice deep breath that we took in at the beginning. So breathing in and letting out.